What makes an assembly of people unlawful? It might seem like a simple question, but the legal answer is a bit more complex. An assembly becomes unlawful when it is composed of 5 or more persons whose common object aligns with one or more of 5 specific conditions. Let's delve into these conditions and shed some light on what each one entails. First, an assembly becomes unlawful if its common object is to overawe by criminal force or show of criminal force the central or any state government, parliament, the legislature of any state, or any public servant in the exercise of their lawful power. This essentially means using intimidation or force to influence or deter a governmental body or official from performing their duties. Second, an assembly is considered unlawful if its purpose is to resist the execution of any law or any legal process. This could involve obstructing law enforcement officers from carrying out their duties or preventing the implementation of a legal judgment or law. Third, the intent to commit any mischief, criminal trespass, or other offense makes an assembly unlawful. This is quite straightforward, as it involves the planning or execution of criminal activities. Fourth, an assembly is unlawful if it uses criminal force or shows criminal force to any person to take or obtain possession of any property, or to deprive any person of the enjoyment of a right of way, or of the use of water or other incorporeal right of which he is in possession or enjoyment, or to enforce any right or supposed right. This involves using force or intimidation to infringe upon someone else's rights or property. Fifth and finally, an assembly becomes unlawful if it uses criminal force or shows criminal force to compel any person to do what they are not legally bound to do, or to omit to do what they are legally entitled to do. This means using force or intimidation to compel someone to act against their legal rights or obligations. An important note to remember is that an assembly that was not unlawful when it assembled may subsequently become an unlawful assembly if the common object of the persons in that assembly shifts to any of the conditions we just discussed. So, to summarize, an assembly of 5 or more persons becomes unlawful if the common object of the assembly is to use or show criminal force to influence government bodies or officials, resist legal processes, commit criminal activities, infringe upon someone's rights or property, or compel someone to act against their legal rights or obligations. And remember, an otherwise lawful assembly can shift to an unlawful assembly depending on the evolving intentions of its participants. In understanding these conditions, we gain a clearer perspective on what constitutes an unlawful assembly and how the law seeks to maintain order and protect individual rights in the face of collective action.